right, you guys, I'm just going to do a couple more videos, and they're going to be maybe 3 videos altogether of finding all the possible zeros, doing the division, and then I need to do one on factor by grouping too. So let's start off with, this is number 3 from the worksheet, and it is x cubed minus x squared minus 8x plus 12. All right, as always, if I make a mistake, let me know tomorrow. If somebody sends me a message tonight, I'll send it out to you guys. But let's do all the possible zeros, okay? Possible zeros, or, oops, ES, that still doesn't look like right to me. So all of the P over all of the Q, remember everything's plus or minus, curly bracket. So our P's are all of the factors of 12, and our Q's are all of the factors of the leading coefficient. In this case, it's just 1. So if we start with 12, 12 is divisible by 1, positive and negative, 12 is divisible by 2, positive and negative, 12 is divisible by 3, positive and negative, 12 is divisible by 4, positive and negative, 12 is divisible by 6, positive and negative, and 12 is divisible by 12, positive and negative. So that was where we have a lot of factors. But over here, where we just have 1, right, our Q is just the factors of 1, and that's just going to be 2 factors, positive and negative 1. So I put all of the positive and negatives on the outside so I don't have to worry about doing it for each part. But that means that I have to take each of these on the numerator and divide it by the denominator. So I have positive and negative 1 over 1, which is just 1, is a possible 0. Positive and negative 2 over 1, which is just 2, is a possible 0. Positive or negative 3 over 1, positive and negative 4 over 1, positive and negative 6 over 1, which is just 6, and positive and negative 12 over 1. So there is technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 zeros, because I have 6 numbers, and each of them is positive or negative. Now, the paper says for sure that one of those zeros is negative 3. And does that fit with what we know? It does, because right here we have, whoops, right here we have negative 3. So that was one of our possibilities. So luckily, Mr. Ryder gave us that possibility. Otherwise, what we would have had to have done is we would have taken, which you do have to do on the test, is, let me show you how to do that. We pick one possibility, like let's just pick positive 2, okay? We pick positive 2, and then we substitute it into our relationship. So everywhere I see an x, instead I put positive 2. So I have 2 cubed, right? Minus 2 squared minus 8 times 2 plus 12. 2 cubed is 8, minus 4, minus 16, plus 12. So 8 minus 4 is 4. Negative 16 plus 12 is negative 4. Look, you guys, I found another 0. I think it's positive 2. Did I do all of that correctly? If I did, then one of my zeros is also x equals positive 2. So you could keep doing it that way and picking different numbers. I randomly was able to pick that number. But for now, I'm going to erase everything here. And we're going to do the long division in order to find that last 0 now. Okay, so I know negative 3. Let's stick with what I knew originally. I know negative 3 is a 0, which means that the factor is x minus negative 3, which is just x plus 3. So that's going to be my divisor. So I'm going to put x plus 3 is my divisor, and my dividend is going to be my original equation, which is x cubed minus x squared minus 8x plus 12. So the reason I'm dividing it by x plus 3 is I'm trying to figure out what do I get when I multiply it. What do I have? What's the number that I multiply x plus 3 by to give me this equation? So how many times can, this is how we start it. We look at how many times can x go in to x cubed. Okay. And obviously that is x squared. Okay. Then I have to multiply x squared by x, and I get x cubed. So I multiplied x squared times x, and I got x cubed. And I'm going to multiply x squared by 3, because you have to distribute it through there, and I get plus 3x squared. Now I have to subtract this, right? But I have to subtract everything. So I'm subtracting, I have x cubed minus x cubed, which is 0. But then I have negative x squared minus 3x squared, which, double check my work here, should be negative 4x squared, right? Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. Okay. Now I need to bring down negative 8x. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I want to clean up this. Okay. And I don't need this 0 here. Extra zeros confuse me. But now I'm looking for, now I have negative 4x squared minus 8, and I'm looking to see how many times can this x, or what do I need to multiply that x by to give me negative 4x squared, and that's just going to be negative 4x, okay? So what I really have, if you want to think about it this way, look down at the page, I really have negative 4x times x plus 3, right? If you took it outside of there. So negative 4x times x is negative 4x squared, which is what I was looking for. And then negative 4x plus 3 is negative 12, negative x times 3, I'm sorry, is negative 12x. Okay, and then I'm going to subtract this whole thing. So negative 4x squared minus negative 4x squared is 0. And negative 8x minus negative 12x is positive 4x, because minus a negative is positive. And then I bring down the positive 12. And I do the same thing. How many times can x go into 4x? It's going to be plus 4. 4 times x is 4x, and then 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, and I subtract and I get 0. So what do I know so far? What I know is, I'm going to have to do some erasing over here. What I know now is that x plus 3 times x squared minus 4x plus 4 is equal to my original x cubed minus x squared minus 8x plus 12. But I can factor this one again, and I'm just going to do this in my head because it's a basic one. Two numbers that add up to be negative 4 and multiply together to be positive 4, and that's negative 2 and negative 2. And then this comes straight down. So what I have is x plus 3, sorry you guys, x plus 3 times x minus 2 times x minus 2. So this one only has 2 zeros because both of these, the 0 is positive 2, right? And here, my 0 is negative 3. So those would be my actual zeros. What that ends up looking like is, let's see, I can give myself some more room here. What that ends up looking like if we were going to graph this is, I know my y-intercept is 12 from the original equation, and I know my zeros are negative 3 and positive 2. So, and it just touches on 2, right? And it is positive because it was a positive equation. So it must go up here, then touches here, and then up that way. Okay, I'll do another one of these and then one practice by factoring, and you guys should be good for the test. There is multiplying imaginary numbers, multiplying and just adding and subtracting imaginary numbers. But I think everybody's good on that. There's Khan Academy practice assigned if you need to do that.